Hello, Charleston, and welcome to this week's edition of Navigate Your Wealth, brought to you by the team of 𝗀𝗶𝗄s Financial. I'm your host, Kristin Oakley, and joining me in the studio, we have the CEO, Karen Stawicki, and Samantha Irish, who is the president. We're going to be talking today about the greatest trick that has ever been played on your retirement. Do you know what it is and how you can combat it? You are not going to want to miss today's show. But first, Karen, Sam, it's always a joy to see you. How are you this week?
We're good. Great. Thank you so much.
How are you? I'm doing so well. I look forward to this time each and every week. We just have such a great time, and I know you have a jam-packed show, so we're just going to get right into it. We're talking today about the greatest trick that's ever been played, and that is taxes. Do you know that that could be the single most determining and detrimental factor to your retirement plan? So that's why we have to talk about it. But I first want to set up this title of the show. You know, it does grab people's attention, the greatest trick ever played. I think to set that up, we have to understand historically where we've come from and where we are today. Yeah. So let's get into it. What is going on from a tax perspective for us?
Well, things changed with the Revenue Act of 1978. This is where they took the burden off of the employers to be providing all of the pensions, and they put the responsibility in the hands of the employee, of the saver. And I'm not really sure that the saver is prepared to have that responsibility, and yet here they are. And so they've accumulated, they said, put as much money away now because you're going to be in a lower tax bracket when you retire. So dutifully, everybody, you know, made contributions to their 401k, they put money in IRAs where they could, and now they're looking at these statements and they see a huge, huge balance. What they're not realizing is that that balance isn't entirely theirs. They're not factoring in taxes, they're not factoring in market risk, they're not factoring in inflation, and sadly, you know, it puts them in a precarious position. Many clients come to us and say, I think I've saved enough, but I don't know that I have. What can I do with this? You know, the other problem is legislative risk. The Revenue Act of 1978 did just that. I mean, it was a determination. They changed the rules. We need to understand your retirement accounts are up for election every 2 years. Isn't that a scary thought? Let me share a story. When I first got in this business in 1980, the top marginal bracket was 70%. If you were a married couple earning $100,000 a year, you were in the 59% bracket. Think about that. That's why we encourage people to put as much money away to get that tax deduction as they could. And the sad truth is they are in a lower tax bracket today. But guess what? They're still complaining. I don't want to pay 30%. I don't want to pay 25%. But I have a news flash for you. We're in the lowest tax brackets of history. We are not at 59%. You are not going to pull it out at half as much as those people who are still complaining doing. And so we have to really be prepared for this.
You know, it's interesting that you bring that up because I always hear people complain about taxes too. Nobody likes paying money to the IRS, and we certainly don't want you paying more than you are legally required to pay, but it's so important to remember where we've come from. And to your point, legislative risk, the rules are always changing, continually changing, and if you're not in the know, you know, I've heard it said that there are two types of tax codes out there, one for the informed and one for the uninformed. We want you to be informed, and that's why we've dedicated today's entire episode to have this important tax conversation. Not only have things changed historically when it comes to taxes, but also the challenges that today's modern retiree are facing. There's so much happening that, you know, previous generations didn't have to worry with. So talk about that.
Well, previous generations didn't have to worry about it because retirement looked very different. You know, when I look at my grandparents' retirement, they typically worked for 40 years, and then retirement was a 15 to 20 year, at best, retirement story. Plus, when they retired, they typically got a gold watch, they got a pension.
And a party.
Well, and a party. And they knew that Social Security was coming into their pocket.
And they were set for life.
And they were set for life. They had all of these guarantees in place. When we look at the retirements of today, most people don't actually go to work at 18 like our grandparents did. We go to college.
Right.
Or we travel the world for a few years and take a sabbatical, or we whatever it is.
Yep.
So let's say that the average American goes to work starting at age 25. If you ask somebody when they want to retire, most people are going to tell you 50, but let's say we can get them to 60. That's only 35 years. Now we're saying, okay, how long do you expect to be retired? We have life expectancies that are bringing people into their 80s, 90s, even 100 years old. So you're telling me you're going to work for 35 years and then you want to be retired for 40 or 50 years? This is not going to work.
Right.
Also, not only is it a long time for retirement, but now we probably don't have a pension. Most companies aren't giving you a gold watch. And if you're me, Social Security doesn't look quite as attractive as it did for my grandparents. So the rules of the game are starting to change. Now, I love that phrase, the rules of the game start to change, because when we look at taxes, I have this analogy that I like to make. It's like playing a board game. Assume you're playing a board game with your niece or nephew, your grandchildren at home. And the key to this game is that we're all going to play together. And when the game is over, then they're going to tell you the rules of the game. What are the chances that your grandchild wins that game, right? That's kind of what the government is asking you to do. They're asking you to play a game with them. And then they're saying, we're going to tell you the rules of taxes when it's over.
Yep. And oh, by the way, we're going to have the jurisdiction to change them at any point in time, willy-nilly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. There's so much that goes into this, for sure.
If you want to know what the rules of the game are for your retirement strategy, give us a call. We want to lay it all out for you ahead of time. It's not fair that you've saved all this time and now they're going to pull the wool over your eyes or try and change the rules to their advantage. Give us a call so that we can help you unpack all of this information in a one-on-one appointment.
Well, I know we are just getting started, and I'm excited to continue this important conversation with both of you. But if you're at home and you're going, you know what? I would like some help. I need to engage in some strategic tax planning so I don't have the wool pull over my eyes. We encourage you. This is why Karen and Sam are offering you the opportunity to meet with them for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how they can help and serve you. To schedule your visit with them, this will be a virtual meeting via Zoom. And don't worry, if you've never used Zoom before, their team is amazing. They'll get you all set up and ready to go ahead of time. But this is a chance to talk with them about your individual financial situation so that you can receive your complimentary retirement roadmap. To claim yours, all you need to do is call that number on the bottom of your screen, 855-348-3073. Or if you'd rather not talk to someone right now, but you do have your smartphone handy, if you simply pull it out, you can open up that camera app. Just point, click, and scan that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from Compass Financial will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary visit that way as well. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more to get into regarding taxes and the greatest trick ever played and how you can combat that right after this.